South Ops Fire Weather Webcast for Wednesday, October 1st. I'm your host, Kristen Stewart. Visible satellite imagery this morning indicates another frontal system starting to move through central California, as you can see from this long, thin band of clouds extending out into the Pacific. This system will be responsible for bringing increased cloud cover to portions of central California, as well as some chances for light showers today. Farther south, a deep moist layer has allowed low clouds to expand into some of the coastal areas, but we are not expecting the front to have much impact there. All in all, we will be in for another cool and cloudy and moist day for the region as a Pacific trough continues to hang off the California coast. The forecast for the rest of this week and into next week will remain pretty low impact for our region. California will continue to be in between a Pacific trough just off the coast and a ridge over the desert southwest through Thursday. This trough will then win out as it moves onshore into northern California on Friday, then into the Great Basin by Saturday. This type of pattern will result in cooler than normal temperatures, along with elevated humidity and increased onshore flow. A deep and large-scale troughing pattern will then remain dominant over the western U.S. going into early next week, keeping cooler and more humid weather in place. These types of troughing patterns over the west coast commonly keep precipitation mainly to our north. The tail end of cold fronts will traverse through central California, but they typically die as they do so, preventing much in the way of precipitation from occurring. Despite this, the pattern remains favorable for chances of light showers to expand into portions of central California, mainly north of Fresno County for the next couple days. Any additional rainfall will be light overall, with totals under a quarter inch for most areas, except at least a half inch over the Sierra. It is worth noting that there will definitely be more dry hours than wet hours today and Thursday, then Friday will be a bit wetter. Southern California will remain dry other than some patchy marine layer drizzle at times. Dry weather is expected region-wide this weekend as the first trough departs. Deeper troughing will develop over the western U.S. by Sunday, lasting into at least early next week, leading to additional light shower chances for the higher terrain. Little additional accumulation is expected, but it will keep the moisture streak alive. While precipitation will be lacking, it is still a very good pattern for mitigating any fire weather concerns. The troughing pattern will allow below normal temperatures to remain in place through the rest of the week, with minimal day-to-day changes. Inland coastal and valley highs will be mainly in the upper 70s to mid-80s, the beaches and lower mountains will be mainly in the upper 60s to low 70s, and the low desert will remain in the 90s. A deeper trough developing over the western U.S. may bring further drops in temperatures Sunday into next week, with valley highs falling into the 70s. Humidity will remain elevated through the period, with minimums mostly above 30%, with good overnight recoveries. The deserts will remain the exception, with minimums remaining in the teens and 20s. Along with the cooler and more humid weather with this troughing pattern comes breezy onshore flow across the interior. Breezy south to west winds will continue through the rest of this week across the deserts and adjacent slopes through Friday, with gusts around 30 to 45 miles an hour common. Elsewhere, winds will mostly follow typical diurnal and terrain-driven patterns. A period of gusty northerly winds is likely from late Friday into Saturday as the first trough departs, mostly across the higher terrain of Southern California. However, moist antecedent conditions and continued elevated humidity are expected to preclude fire weather concerns. With a cool and humid pattern remaining in place and on the heels of all the moisture over the past few weeks, dead fuel moistures remain well above normal across the entire region, and that will remain the case as we move closer to the middle of October. We still have not seen a widespread seasonal green-up across the region, especially in Southern California, so we're still at a point where a couple weeks of warmer and drier weather could put us back in play for higher fire danger conditions, though we don't see that in the cards for the foreseeable future. Not surprisingly, large fire potential will remain very low for the foreseeable future, with little to no probability for new large fires as this cooler and more humid weather pattern continues. It is possible that we could see a very slight jump on Saturday with the offshore flow and slightly drier conditions, but in all likelihood, we're going to remain quiet through at least the first half of October. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Our next webcast will be on Thursday, October 2nd. Have a fantastic day.